Hobbit, he's not in shape now, and he's 20 years younger than me. He's like, well, stop giving advice.
And so, Mike, I'm betting the fans would like to see our comparisons of our blood work as well as a fitness competition. And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to some kind of a fitness competition. Clearly, I would demolish you. It would be embarrassing. Coach Greg, and breaking news yet again, I'm living rent-free in Mike O'Hearn's head. It seems like every day he's thinking about The Hobbit. What is Coach Greg thinking? And it makes him so happy to see people making fun of me. People posting videos about Coach Greg. Oh my God, let's cancel Coach Greg. He posted a video and said, do you agree? Mike O'Hearn, he loves it. And so he goes on this guy's Instagram channel. I'm going to say his name. I'm going to make him famous. Why should I do that? He posts comment after comment. You go get him. I love this. I'm rooting for the Hobbit to be taken down. And why would he do this? I'm already a Hobbit. I'm already a freaking manlet. I'm already down here, Mike. Why are you trying to press me down even further? Am I not low enough already? In this video, we're going to watch him call out Coach Greg again. Gonna put me down, insult me, probably say I have the worst physique in the world. And so let's just watch and see what he says, because it's always hilarious what comes out of Mike O'Hearn's mouth.
The Hobbit was talking about just go 250 calories over your maintenance, and that's all you have to do to go off season.
And so Mike O'Hearn says, you know, The Hobbit, he's saying you only need to be in a 250 calorie surplus to build muscle effectively. That even if you're trying to bulk up, trying to put on muscle, that 250 calories is really all you need.
And I'm like, nah, for me, no.
And so Mike O'Hearn, he completely disagrees with that. And so picture this, you're eating at maintenance. Let's say you're at 12% body fat, whatever. You're eating 2,500 calories a day. You only need 250 extra calories to go into your off season to put on more muscle.
For me, no. I'm 1,000 because that's going to put my weight on.
Mike is saying no. For me, at least for him, he needs at least an additional 1,000 calories. And so if you're a Mike O'Hearn fan rather than a Coach Greg fan, and remember, there are some morons out there that would listen to Mike's advice over mine. I know it sounds crazy to many of you, but there are people out there that think that Mike O'Hearn knows more than Coach Greg. It's shocking. It baffles me. I know it's hard to believe, but people are believing Mike O'Hearn over Greg. And so if you're one of those people, there's probably 7 of you out there. For you 7 individuals, think of this. Do you really think you need to eat an 1,000 calorie surplus every single day in order to build muscle? And if you do that, what do you think the majority of those calories are going to turn into? Do you think that 1,000 calories is more likely to turn into fat or more likely to turn into muscle? The answer is fat. If you eat a 1,000 calorie surplus, you're going to get fat. And very quickly, 7,000 extra calories in a week. It's going to equate to about 2 pounds of extra body fat you're going to gain each and every week. 10 weeks is 20 pounds of fat. And so Mike is going to have you believe this. No, if you eat a 1,000 calorie surplus, you're just going to put on a ton of muscle. All those extra calories, nutrient partitioning is going to occur, and it's magically going to form new muscle tissue. But here are the facts, the truth, the actual data, if you go into the studies. You do not need never more than 500 calorie surplus a day. If you're beyond a 500 calorie surplus, the extra calories are not turning to muscle, they're turning to fat. And when you add in more fat, you're going to actually get more sluggish. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your metabolism. Nothing is good about getting fat. And so why do I say 250 calories? Why isn't it 500? Well, for the most part, even past 250, the majority of what you're going to gain, it's going to be fat. And so if you're trying to get fat, for example, if you're at 5% body fat and you're in contest shape condition, then yeah, you could eat 500 calories extra a day. You're going to gain some fat, sure, but you probably need it because you're at 5%. But let's say you're eating at maintenance and you're at 12%, 15%. You're at a healthy body fat percentage. You're suddenly trying to put on muscle. You're trying to go on a mini bulk. If you eat more than 250 calories, a lot of that, the majority of it, more than half, is going to be fat and not muscle. And so why would Mike say to eat 1,000 extra calories? 1,000! 1,000's a lot. If you eat an extra 1,000 calories a day, I can promise you this is going to happen. You're going to get fat. There's no way you can eat an 1,000 calorie surplus and the majority of that turn into muscle. Even with steroids, let's argue that Mike O'Hearn's 100% natural. After all, he claims to be natural. If Mike O'Hearn were 100% natural and say he's eating 2,500 calories a day, maintaining his physique, if he then goes on steroids and eats 1,000 extra calories, it's still too much. 1,000 calorie surplus, even with steroids, is more calories than you need. And so whether or not you're training for the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding, no matter who you are, and if you're at maintenance and you look and feel good and you add in 1,000 extra calories, it's too many. Nobody needs to eat 1,000 calorie surplus to put on muscle, even if you're on steroids.
On top of that, it's going to give me extra calories. On top of that, I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to force my body to utilize those calories.
And so you can't just force your body to utilize those calories to build muscle. You're going to force your body to use those calories. Of course you are. Your body's going to be forced to turn them into fat. Some of them are going to turn into muscle. Sure, some, perhaps up to 250. The ones that I said, why do you think I would say 250? But when you force your body to use up those extra calories, the body can't just say, well, Mike is saying I'm being forced to use those extra calories, and so I'm going to turn into muscle. Because if that were the case, why not eat 5,000 extra calories and just force your body to turn 5,000 calories into rock hard muscle? Wouldn't that be amazing? I'll just add in some tests, some trends, some growth hormone, perhaps some peptides from a sponsored supplement company. And I'll turn all those extra calories into muscle. Well, if that were true, why not make it 5,000 calories? The answer is because you can't. And so when you add in those extra calories are going to make you fatter. Is it going to make you stronger? Yeah, sure, of course it is. 200 pounds versus 300 pounds. 300-pound person probably going to be stronger even if all the extra weight is fat. Mass moves mass. And so if you're fatter, probably going to be stronger. But is that really what you want? Well, maybe if you're a sumo wrestler, a power lifter, strongman competitor, perhaps you need to get that extra fat. But if you're just trying to put on extra muscle in whatever bulk you're on, you don't need 1,000 calorie surplus.
So the whole science base, it's great that you go read something, but it's frustrating.
And so Mike says, well, the science base, well, it's great that you go and read something. And so he's not discouraging you from reading, from learning about the science. It's just that, well, the science doesn't work. I'm Mike O'Hearn and I go against the science. Well, of course he does. The science says that at 53 years of age, you don't look better than you are at 43 or 33. Science doesn't say that. The science says that if you're on steroids, that perhaps you can continue to look amazing when you get older. The science says that. But Mike is saying don't believe the science because the science, it doesn't agree with this. Does Mike not look like a science experiment to you? I think he does. I think at 53 to look that amazing, I think that you're on something. Don't know what it is. Probably test trend and everything, peptides, growth hormone, you name it. Probably, I don't know. But what I don't think is that that is natural.
You look at these guys that were in shape for a moment, and he wasn't really in shape.
And so Mike is saying, you look at these guys who are in shape for a moment. Split moment in time. And so, for example, the Hobbit, he was in shape. I've seen a few pictures, video evidence, and I've read a few books. And Coach Greg, he actually did look in shape at one time in his life. Briefly, it was fleeting, but he looked pretty good at once. I was on his Instagram and I saw people talking about him. I saw the posts and he kind of looked like a smash. I was thinking smash. Briefly, for a brief second. It wasn't a full second. It was very brief, but Coach Greg was a smash.
But he's not in shape now, and he's 20 years younger than me. He's like, well, stop giving advice.
But he's not in shape now, and he's 20 years younger than me. Mike, I mean, I know you encourage reading, which is great for your grammar and your vocabulary, but you may want to study in some math. You might want to get on Duolingo. I use it for Spanish, French, English. You can learn various languages, but did you know you can also study your math? And so, Mike, I'm 48. 53 minus 48. 48 is in fact smaller than 53, but only by 5, not 20. And I do believe that I'm in shape right now. And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to some kind of a fitness competition. I race bikes, and so it can't be a bike race. Clearly, I would demolish you. It would be embarrassing. But one thing I don't do is run. I never run. And so perhaps we can go for a run. Perhaps we can go for a jog. Perhaps a swim. I haven't swam in years. Do you want to go for a swim? Maybe we could do a triathlon. Perhaps you want to do a skip rope challenge. We can go and skip. Do you want to make it a push-up competition? Name the event, Mike, and let's get down to business. Or perhaps you don't have the time. I know what we can do. We can both send our blood work to independent labs. We can have it analyzed. Perhaps we'll contact Derek. We'll send our labs to Merrick Health. We'll get them to analyze it. Coach Greg's health versus Mike O'Hearn. We won't say whose is whose, and they will rank our blood work in order of health. We'll see. We know that I'm on HRT. And we know that Mike O'Hearn is natural. And so would Mike O'Hearn's blood work not be better than mine? After all, when you're on HRT, sometimes it lowers your HDL. It perhaps is going to make my hematocrit a little bit out of whack. Perhaps I have too many red blood cells. We will see. Mike O'Hearn is clearly the epitome of health. And Coach Greg, well, he's 20 years younger, but is he in fact healthier? I'd like to know. I'm betting the fans would like to see our comparisons of our blood work as well as a fitness competition. And so who are you betting on? Mike O'Hearn, who believes you should eat 1,000 calorie surplus to put on muscle, or Coach Greg, who says to main gain? Who has been fit for longer?
But he's not in shape now, and he's 20 years younger than me. He's like, well, stop giving advice. If you can't be in shape in your 40s, stop giving advice to everybody.
And so Mike O'Hearn, he's saying, if you can't be in shape in your 40s, stop giving advice. And so is Mike actually in his 60s? Did Mike time travel? Or is Mike simply this bad in math? Because he first said I was 20 years younger than him. I thought he was 53. 53 minus 20, would I be 33? I'm 48. He's saying 20 years younger than me. 20 plus 48, Mike, and those of you paying attention, listening at home, is 68. That's old. 68, almost as old as my parents.
You can't be in shape in your 40s. Stop giving advice to everybody.
And so Mike is saying, man, if you can't be in shape in your 40s, stop giving advice to other people. I don't know what device or litmus test we're using. I don't know what the litmus test for physical health in your 40s is, but I do believe I'm going to pass on this test. I believe that training my entire life, having done triathlons for 13 years, and yeah, I did have a blip of not being healthy or abuse stairs for about 10 years. Perhaps that's slowing me down. But overall, I think I'm very much healthy. I think if a test is to be done on me, that the test is going to say this man in his 40s is fit enough to give advice to other people about how to stay in shape.
And if you're in shape in your 20s, you're giving advice. I get it, but everybody looks good in 20.
And so Mike's saying, look, perhaps in your 20s you're in shape and you're giving fitness advice in your 20s, but how hard is that? Anyone can be in shape in their 20s. And so, yeah, when I was a competitive triathlete in my 20s, 100% natural, winning bodybuilding competitions, winning bike races, doing all kinds of stuff, yeah, I was fit, but anyone can be fit in their 20s. But what about in their 40s? Well, I'm going to argue I'm still fit, Mike. I'm going to argue I'm fitter than you. And yeah, I have an advantage. I'm on HRT and you're natural. I get it. But let's look at the blood work. But if you don't want to challenge me physically, as in perhaps bike, run, swim, push-up, skipping, whatever fitness event you can think of, perhaps challenge me with the blood work.
We know guys that don't train, don't eat right, that look like freaking Mr. Olympia at 20.
20-year-olds that don't work out and don't eat right that look like the Mr. Olympia competitor. Come on, Mike. We know you encourage reading, but you've proven yourself as not being all too bright in math. And now we're hearing that you say that 20-year-olds look like the Mr. Olympia competitors without even training. I don't think so. What are you going to say next? There is no Santa Claus, Mike? Come on.
I love the science-based stuff, and it's great to read it and do it and all. But at the same time, have fun in the gym.
And so he loves the science-based stuff, for reading. Perhaps for reading comprehension, it's good practice. You read, but you don't actually apply any of it. You just read it because it's good for the reading. It allows you to focus on the page. Perhaps it helps with your ADD. Focus on this, gets you out of trouble. Perhaps you're not chasing the ladies. You read the science. You just don't apply it in your real life. Is that what you're saying, Mike?
I like 12. Great. Yeah. 12. You like 2? Do 2.
Is Mike now giving dating advice? Is he a dating coach? If you like 2, do 2. If you like 12, do 12. 12 what's? 2 what's? 2 girls, boys, 2 times? What? What are we learning right now, Mike? Look at the guys in the video. They're looking at him like, yeah, you want to have fun in the gym? Yeah. And then do 2, you want 2, do 2. You want 12, you do 12. What?
I like 12. Great. Yeah. 12. You like 2? Do 2.
Yeah. Everybody wants the right answer.
And so I think he's saying the obvious. Everyone wants the right answer. Mike is saying if you want 2, do 2. If you want 12, do 12. In his response, everyone wants the right answer. I'm learning so much from this Mike Ahern video. I mean, I learned that he encourages reading, that you should read science studies and papers, but just not apply it, and that you should do whatever you want, and that people want the right answers, but he's not giving any of them.
The only thing that's going to take you to the top of your potential is going to the gym. Step number one.
And so step number 1 is going to the gym. I believe step number 2 is to follow and subscribe to Coach Greg. Like the video, follow and subscribe. Imagine the amount of information you can learn. Step 3, perhaps after step 2, is to watch Mike Ahern's videos to learn what not to do. That's right, to learn what not to do, to see how to do it wrong. And so what I'm saying is if you follow Mike Ahern, you'll learn the opposite. For example, eat 1,000 calories in the surplus to put on muscle, when in fact 1,000 calories surplus, you're going to gain mostly fat.
There's no real right answer. I mean, there is, I'm sure. I haven't found it yet.
And so he's saying, there is a right answer, I just haven't found it yet. Well, perhaps it's because you're not subscribed to my channel. If you watch Coach Greg's channel, you can learn the right answers. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Remember that. Need to hear. Not want, but need.
He hasn't even found it yet, except for how to look that good.
And Mike Ahern, he hasn't found the answer yet. He does not know. Could it in fact be peptides? Could it be HRT? I don't know. Mike is 100% natural. It can't be that. It couldn't be going on HRT. And so what could it be? I mean, is Mike Ahern actually 20 years older than Coach Greg? I'm not kidding. I'm actually 48. I'm not 28. And so how old is Mike really? Is Mike actually 68 years old? He's saying the Hobbit's 20 years younger than him. Is that actually possible? Am I, in fact, 20 years younger? Perhaps I look 20 years younger. Some people are saying I look way older than 48. For the most part, everyone that comes up and says, hey, to me, when they meet me, they say, you're bigger, more muscular, leaner than I thought, younger than I thought. And so, I don't know, Mike. I'm going to argue that I look younger than Mike Ahern. Now, if Mike Ahern is actually 68, then that is incredible. But I do believe he's 53, and I do believe I do look younger than Mike. Let me know in the comment section, is Mike making any sense? Are you on Team Mike or are you on Team Greg? Should you, in fact, be bulking on 1,000 calories, or is that just going to turn mostly to fat? Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I've educated you. I know that you only want to hear Coach Greg videos that are about education, which is bullshit. You want drama. I know it. And I know that I need to educate you while using drama at the same time. Remember, I know what you want more than you do. I am like your parents when you were a child. Your parents knew what you wanted for Christmas much more than you do, just like Santa Claus did. And remember, if you're 100% natural like Mike Ahern, you may want to be using Turk Builder, GO2 Max, Ecti Builder. Also, we have hardcore, we got regular pre-workout, we got all kinds of stuff. We have creatine, it's 50% off. We have Seco protein bars. I ate one of these in my last video. I eat them every single day. They're absolutely amazing. They taste amazing. They're bigger than the Anabar with about 50 calories less per bar and have 20 grams of protein. That's incredible. And if you're not natural, not going to suggest who might not be natural, but if you're not, you probably should be taking blood work to ensure that you're at least healthier than last time. Remember, it can't undo all of the damages of steroids and SARMs and so on, but it can help you a little bit. It's certainly worth it. Code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it, watch the top video, then the bottom. Of course, if you have no money, get over to the website, get the free diet and training program. Has nearly 100,000 copies have been given away, and over 300,000 people have joined the newsletter. And so get over there, head over there right now. Code Greg, 15% off. Harder than last time supplements, getting better than ever before. Please head over there right now. And until next time, I am out.